Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Good morning, Mechwarriors and fellow gamers. Welcome back to Commander Hollow's Mech Bay. I'm Commander Hollow. So we've been working on this Black Lanner in the Clan Jade Falcon Turkina Keshik style. And let's see, we did the base coat, we did some highlighting, we did some pin washing, we got our cockpit done, we added some colors for the weapons. So pretty much all we have left, well, I don't know what we should talk about. All we have left right now is the basing that we're going to do. With the Clan Jade Falcon Turkina Keshik, there usually is a detailed falcon somewhere painted somewhere on the unit. And just in the interest of the fact that we're doing kind of a beginner's approach to mechs, we're not going to include that today. Obviously, if you feel like giving it a shot, go for it. But these, we really want this to be about just encouraging new players to embrace the game and embrace painting. So we're going to be moving on and doing the basing today, and I wanted to think of something fun for Jade Falcons, and so something kind of complements the style here. So I think what we're going to do is kind of the theme for this is going to be Scorched Earth, something consistent with the Jade Falcon's use of the Mongol Doctrine or Mongol Doctrine. Not sure the exact correct pronunciation of it, but and that was the tendency under Malvina to basically just go through and cause as much crazy violence as they could, to terrify the enemies, just against both military targets and civilians. Anything they came across, they destroyed it. So I thought Scorched Earth would be a good way to embrace what they had going on. And yes, that's what we're going to be doing. So today what we're going to be doing, we're going to be using a couple different colors here. For the base, we're going to start with this golden brown, which we used on some of the Draconis Combine units. So it gives it a nice sandy color. This is a very, very simple base. I should probably go back and do something more to those. But we're going to start with this to establish the base color of the Earth. We're going to use some brown to show areas, to start darkening up some areas where they've been damaged. And then we will use black to really emphasize just scorched out areas for the Scorched Earth approach here. And once those dry, and we've got our base ready to go, we're going to move on and do a couple of other things. So we're going to create a series of layers from the back to the front. The front we're going to have still kind of earth and that has not been touched yet. So we're going to have put a couple of plants, in this golden brown using the olive green and the grass green. Use a combination of those to create a sense of depth on the plants. And then for some of the kind of the burnt embers, we're going to use this cherry cobbler, matte acrylic, and neon orange, so that under the black light some of the embers will still be glowing a little bit. So kind of an ambitious plan here, but you know, we'll see. I think it'll be fun to try. I've not done this yet, so we're gonna explore together, and we're gonna push some paint around, and we're gonna have some fun. Okay, so let's get right to it. Now, we discussed this in, I think, the last video, but I think what we're going to do is knock the camera really good. We're going to hit the camera, earthquake. Okay. So, hey, you know, let's go back out. Let's zoom back out. We're going to get some of this golden brown. We're going to get this started here. And you know what? I really like the colors in the palettes. We're going to swap this out and do a different palette here. Kind of a silly thing to get to be so fond of and not one of these. It's a palette. It's meant to have different paint going in it. Come on. Come on. I know we got paint in there. I can hear it. Like trying to get that last bit of syrup out of the jar for your pancakes. Do I got a clog? I got a clog. Well, I'll be darned. Okay. This happens. If you get a plug or a clog or something, I mean, just a toothpick usually is enough to get it done. Just be careful you don't break it in. I mean, you can break it in there. It won't hurt the paint at all. But my toothpicks are like, man, 6 feet from me or something. I don't know. I don't want to get up and get them. Hopefully this opens her up. Yeah, so we use a little metal poking tool. Okay, let's try. Okay, golden brown, take 2. Hey, look at that. Some paint came out. Now I'm going to make a pretty good sized batch of this, because I think we're going to do all 3 of these jade turkeys at the same time. Okay. Now we're basing, so we're going to get some water in here. Yep. Looks like a good amount. And we want this base coat to be, you know, thinner, but not thin. You know, but we definitely want some flow to it, because we want this to settle down on the base, maybe even run underneath the feet of the unit. And not run. Run is probably the wrong word, but flow. You know, we want to be able to push it under there. Now let's zoom in. Here we go. All right. Mixing brush gets a little workout. So as you can see, I'm taking the brush and I'm pushing it flat against the base and just pushing the paint forward this way. And I find this to be a very effective way to, you know, kind of approach and come up to the feet of the unit without running the risk of accidentally brushing onto the unit. Okay. Yeah, so you go right under those toes. And this should make a nice base here. Nice. I was talking about base coat, but a nice base coat for the base. A base coat. Down, and it's down. Failed the piloting skill roll. Okay. All right, and so talking about this Scorched Earth scheme. Okay, good. You know, what we're going to do is one of the goals of the scheme. It's going to be the same as the goal we had when painting the Ghost Regiment. And that is we want to, you know, treat it almost like a miniature diorama. You know, we want to tell a story if possible. At the very least, we want to imply which direction is the front of the unit. So we can eliminate any ambiguity on that point and avoid arguments during a game about which way the darn thing's facing. So I think this one, the way it's posed, you know, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that this is the front here. And that's where the toes are going over. That's the way the unit's facing. But the unit has a bit of a torso twist. And, I mean, in reality, I think that's the direction the feet are facing. So, yeah, you know, I could see someone maybe saying, no, that's not clear which way. Maybe not with this unit. It'd be pretty hard to argue that this is front. I think this reads as front a little more clearly. But what do I know? Sometimes people get ideas in their head, you know, and but that's what we're going to do. That's part of the process of, or one of the goals of the paintings. We want to make it clear through the base, kind of give a, you know, if possible, sense of motion, a sense of direction. And a sense of base color on the foot. That's okay. That's okay. We can touch it up later. Or it'll just read as having a little bit of dirt on him. Okay. Now we're going to let him dry. We're going to throw a little bit on the feet of the howlers. I tend to think of them as baboons. I don't know why. I think the clan name is Howler. But man, baboon, that's just a fun word, baboon. Baboon. Plus, you know, animals are just fun. We're animal lovers in my household. We go to the zoo a lot, or SeaWorld. I know SeaWorld gets a bad rap about some of the things that have happened in the past, but, you know. Or even just going to preserve sometimes. But yeah, so many of the clan vehicles and mechs are named after animals. You know, not all, obviously, but a lot. It's very common. Makes me wonder if the name Howler is a reference to the howler monkeys. Which that'd be kind of fun. I think I saw sometime, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but they will throw things at humans that are in their territory. So to name this zippy little dude Howler when they just throw tons and tons of LRMs at people. I mean, a 15-round volley out of a unit of this size, that's pretty good. That's all right. It's going to give you a bad day if it hits you, and you're another light mech. But that would make the name kind of appropriate if they were naming it after the howler monkey. All right, so you'll notice, you can kind of see, you can see how this this beige, the first coat, you know, one coat's not really enough. It comes out a little uneven on the first coat, and that happens, you know, whether you're painting it on this blue primer that's been, I think I did a little dry brushing on the base just to, you know, just to make it easier. But you know, whether you're using it on this blue primer or you're doing it on the black primer, this color is, it's kind of like, you know, yellow or orange in the sense that you, or even white, where you really just need to do several thin coats and just build it up. Otherwise it can, if you try to put it on too heavy, it'll just dry unevenly, look kind of splotchy. You don't want that. Not splotchy, but like uneven, like there'll be like raised portions. Not quite bubbles, but okay. But we're going to take advantage of that unevenness because since we're doing this Scorched Earth campaign, or Scorched Earth theme, yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more here. Speaking of uneven, yeah, the mixing brush is great for what it's great for. Like if we're pushing it around on these large surfaces, but doing the detailed work, I think it's not always the best tool. I will say this though, you can load this brush up and it will carry a lot of paint, which can be very nice, very convenient. Look at that. I mean, already, I must have, I think I got the camera drifted down a little bit. Let me see if I can fix this. We're having technical difficulties. But yeah, you can see just with those, just with that first coat, it already looks, you know, more. Oh, you do not want to behave, camera. You're giving me some troubles. Okay. We're going to call that good enough. But I'm going to have to keep an eye on you, see if you don't drift anymore. Christ, I'm going to have to start a PayPal or something and get myself a new tripod. Unfortunately, man, my hairy arm OnlyFans account still hasn't taken off. I don't know why. Yeah. Okay. I think we got that camera situation fixed. And, you know, we needed to give the base a little time to dry anyways, so that's okay. Now. We're going to move on, and we're going to do a little of this dark brown, or just brown, as it's called, yeah. Craft Smart Matte Acrylic Brown. Got a plug there. We're going to get some paint the first time. Hey, very nice. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, start off by getting some water. We're going to mix this guy up a little bit. Well, it looks like we still had a little beige in there. so focused on fixing the camera. But that's okay. This brown definitely overtakes it. So we're not going to worry too much. All right, now what we're going to do is paint the rear portion of this base brown. And again, we're going to it looks like it might have still been a little wet. Looks like it is still a little wet. Yeah, that is still a little wet. All right. So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to have to take a little break. I wonder if there's anything else that we can work on. You know, since we're waiting on that to dry a bit more, something we can do, other than clean out the brush a bit. Man, I still got this camera slipping out a little bit here. Yeah, I know what it is. It's the fact that I don't have a case around this camera. And the plastic is very slick. Or, well, you know, cell phone camera, whatever you want to call it. I have to fire my cameraman. Oh, wait. All right, so while we let that dry, I think we're going to plop just a tiniest amount of blue into this barrel. I just feel like it got dwarfed a little bit by that silver we put in. So, just going to put a little bit of this in there again to brighten it up. Take our handy dandy Sharpie cut fine point brush. You know, it looks okay in this light. And I don't know if you can tell, sometimes, you know, my hands will be unsteady. So what I'll do is I'll put, you know, a pinky on the unit to steady it. And then, you know, I'm kind of pushing my hands together. Not too hard. You know, don't want to break the mini, but that'll give you the stability. That'll help your stability. So, you know, if you try to freehand it, you just get the little shakes a little bit. At least I do. Yeah, I don't know if that helped at all. Maybe it did. That green, though, I really think that the green lasers are looking pretty sharp. Now, well. All right, let's see how we're looking. All right, I think we can have another go at this. Oh, there it is. And so this brown just to show that the land is kind of burnt out. We're going to keep dropping the color with some black in a bit. But we want to kind of work up to that. And then we're also, a little bit of that beige poking out. And we want to be able to show kind of a gradual transition. So what I'm going to do now is I want to show, it's when you think about, brush fire, or something like that. I don't know if you've ever seen a brush fire, but, I've driven through the remains a few times in California after some big brush fires. And it's interesting because it's, there's different areas of intensity, places where the fire really, really had an impact, whether it was due to more plants being there, or dry wood. So we're going to show a little bit of cracking at the edges of this brown. And all I'm doing is painting really short lines connecting to each other. And I'm trying to avoid any any pattern. I don't want it to be, a series of squares or triangles. So you want to do it kind of irregularly. And yeah, see that? I've got like kind of a triangle thing going on there. We're going to adjust that. But you think about how riverbeds will dry up as well. They'll leave these interesting patterns. Well, if it's a muddy riverbed, they'll leave interesting patterns in the dirt. With the water. Nice. Good job, Commander Hollow. I'll just kick the crap out of the tripod. What did the tripod ever do to you? What are you picking on it for? Ooh, those are a bit heavy. Not really reading his cracks. We might have to fix that. And that's the thing. I will say I'm guilty of that sometimes. Sometimes I get impatient and I'll start rushing. I want to either move on to something else or who knows. I just get distracted. And that's not the point of this. The point of this is to slow down, take your time, and have fun. Now I'm breaking up this transition line a little bit more, make it look a little more organic. And I'm not painting lines of the beige into it. It's really more just extending some of the sections. to give a more pointed look and a softer transition line. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. You know, yeah, got a little heavy-handed on that section. But we're good. We're good. Now, just for completeness, I think I am going to extend this down the sides. Just the faintest lines. Just to help complete the illusion. Which, you know, when you set it down on a map and the map doesn't really match what's going on in the base, it'll break the illusion again. But that's okay. Because like I said, it's more about the story of the Falcons. Just going through the galaxy and burning the crap out of everyone. Okay. Rinse that off, and we're going to throw some brown on these guys. Yeah, you can see it's spreading very differently. You know, putting it on more dry paint. Yeah, but even still, this is this paint, this brown. You really got to build it up. Especially when you've thinned it. And that's why I wanted to do a base of beige on it. All right. And we'll move on to the next one. I probably should have gone ahead and done all of these at the same time, but it won't really make a difference. You know. All right. Load up some more paint. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the train in the background. Oh, and of course it's stopped now, but that's okay. All right. So we got that big stuff done. Let's go ahead and do some lining. All right, slow down. Part of the challenge is being able to get the angle on this guy, for any of these guys to take advantage of the fine point of the brush. So yeah, see? Go back and clean that up. But that's okay, you know? We do want it to be a bit random. So having some things happening in different directions, that's good. But man, that is a thick crack. All right. Okay. Yep, it's hard to be gentle when you're going fast. Slow is steady, and steady is fast. My hand is creating some shadows that I don't really want. Okay. Yeah, the Mongol Doctrine for the clan Jade Falcon did, it was kind of a campaign of terror that they were waging. And in the long run, it did not pay out. You know, and I think history shows that terror campaigns in the long run, eventually you just end up making too many enemies of the people. And, you know, who are, you know, then you have just everyone against you. No one likes that. And, you know, historically, there's a lot of times when people gang up, or just refuse to help or work with a group that is behaving like that. I think France had some interesting history related to terror campaigns, the reign of terror. There we go. Thin out some of these cracks a little bit. But overall, I think this is pretty fun. I kind of like the way this is shaping up. Yeah, I think having the definitely making shadows. Now, it's funny how sometimes I'll stop and take a look through the camera, see what you guys see, and I'll notice something and say, "Oh God, I gotta fix that." You know, a lot of times, I don't even see problems until I take a picture of it. You know, get that high zoom on it and really have a look at what you're working with. All right. Got the sides on all of them. Excellent. Yeah, so I mean, right there you can see we've already created the impression of which way is forward on these units. You know, so even if you didn't do anything else on the basing, you know, just by having that transition, you know, dark to light, with the cracking there, you know, that alone would be enough to create a sense of which way the mech is moving. So, all right, just load up on a little coffee there. Now let's get darker. I don't think we're going to need very much. And before we do this, I think what we're going to do is just a little more brown. Yeah, I gotta say, I kind of wish I had a darker brown. Now we're only going to do this on darker brown. We want to stay away from the transition. You know, we want to keep it just in the back here. But we want to bring this down. And I guess you could say it's part of the transition, you know, because we want this to completely eliminate the beige. This back section. Get rid of this, because it's a little splotchy in some areas. You know, but working on the cracking gave these rear areas a chance to dry more, so that we can put a second coat on them. Or, well, sure, third coat, I guess, at this point. Very good. Oh, I hear one of the kids starting to stir. We'll see what happens. I did start painting a little bit later than I normally do, so it wouldn't surprise me if they end up getting up. Let's push paint around for as long as we can. All right. That's fun. I like that. Okay. This is definitely not dry yet, but I kind of... Okay. You know, I guess while we're waiting for it to dry, I just spotted something I want to clean up a bit. Because that's too big of a crack. It's too thick. It doesn't read as a crack. It reads as a clumsy painter got a little aggressive with the brush. And that's not the message we're going for. We'll do another coat of the beige on the front, because that never got the full. Oh. And my daughter is now singing songs. Again, the beige, it will let through. It needs a couple coats to really cover up all that blue underneath. I mean, you can see like that is some blue. All right. We're going to kind of just but kind of push it in. We don't want to have a clear line of where the light beige starts. We want it to be, we really want a gradual transition if we can have that. I think it reads a lot better. But this is good timing. Good timing. We're going to take a little break. We're going to let these guys dry. And once they're dry, we'll pick it up with the Scorched Earth campaign.